You are watching the Midtable Up Podcast highlights. Please put your foot through that like button and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, as well as Spotify and the Podcasts app. I have gone with now, this player kind of sums up my pet peeves with forwards in general. And before he came to England, I was really excited to see him just because of, again, you know, the caliber of the player. He'd already won the World Cup by this point. And, you know, I was expecting, you know, really good things from him. So the player that I have gone with is Jesus Navas. And honestly, just because as a neutral watching Manchester City and you know, I feel like it must have been kind of similar when he was at Sevilla as well, his home club. It's just the fact that he's one of those players that would just get the ball, had all the pace in the world, beat the defender, beat the fullback, and then the final ball would end up in row Z every single time, if the final ball came at all. If the final ball didn't come, it would be either a wasted shot or, you know, he'd try and beat the player again. And, you know, obviously he was part of that Spain squad. To be honest with you, the reason why I've put Navas at number 9 instead of number 10 is because I think Navas at least played at that tournament. But yeah, as I said, for me, just my biggest pet peeves in terms of forwards, or at least wingers that are able to beat a man, but then the final ball or the final shot is non-existent, because at that point then beating the man is effectively a waste of time if the ball's just going to go out of play or if it's just going to go back to the opposition. And I feel like Navas, so often I would see him beat a man, for, you know, when I was watching Man City, so often he would beat a man and nothing would come of it.
It's interesting. Go on, Sam.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Jesus Navas was kind of like the Spanish Theo Walcott. That's how I like him.
Almost he was. Yeah, no, I agree.
It's just like pace for days, beat people at ease, jink past them. You're like, final product. Nope.
Yeah.
That's gone absolutely nowhere. He's gone absolutely nowhere near the goal. But he still plays.
Exactly.
He's back at Sevilla now, isn't he? And
yeah, he is back at Sevilla.
He was big part of the squad that won the Europa League last season, wasn't he?
He's
kind of right wing back now.
He's actually had quite an illustrious career.
I'm sure he has. He must have won a lot of titles, hasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, he's actually the first. He's the first player on our list so far that actually still plays for the country. Because
you mean he must be eligible? There's no way.
He's played for Spain this year.
Has he?
He's played for Spain in 2020.
Jesus.
Yeah. I'm sure. I'm sure if I dug a bit deeper into what games he's played, it's probably.
I mean, he was barely playing for Spain when they were winning things. Never mind. I mean, I suppose they're crap now, but Jesus.
Maybe that's why now that they've stopped winning things.
Yeah.
That's why he's back.
Yeah. Oh my God! But no, as I said, like even just describing how he played, I was getting a little bit angry just talking about it because, it's such a pet. And he didn't even play for my team or my country.
I remember him when he was at Man City, when we'd go to the pub and we'd see a City game, you just getting cross at Jesus Navas for not being able to cross a ball. You'd be like, how? How can't he cross a ball? He's so fast, he beats men easily. How can't he cross? It's like, and I think what you see is, when you look at a player like Adama Traore now, who couldn't play like that but now can. That's what you want to see eventually, is that they grow into that ability to beat man and cross the
He used
ball.
to do it all the time. And, you know, I'd be like, you're not only a professional footballer, but you're a top flight World Cup winning footballer, and you can't even beat the first man. No, I think you should get fined by your club. Honestly.
Do you know what's interesting? He is a 2 times Copa del Rey winner. He's won the Europa League 3 times, the Super Cup once, the Premier League, the EFL Cup, the European Championship in 2012, and the World Cup. And he's the worst player. But
well, I mean,
he's won a lot.
No, to be fair, he's had a great career. I'm not saying he hasn't. Just
his impact on the game.
I think, yeah. No, as I said, I think of what he should have really been able to deliver. And as I said, when he moved to Manchester City from Sevilla, I'd seen a decent amount of him. Yeah, obviously he'd already won the World Cup at that point, already won the Euros at that point. I think he moved there in 2013 because they won the title in 2014.
If I remember rightly, didn't he sign for them off the back of a good Confederations Cup, which is obviously that weird tournament that's in between World Cups?
Yeah, I think you're right, because
excellent in that tournament. I was like, this kid can play. Like he was doing all those things.
Because Spain won that. Yeah.
But I remember him playing in that and being really, really good, and as you say, being really excited to see him week in, week out, and he was just not there.
I think that was probably the basis in what City bought him on. And as I said, I remember being really excited to see him. I thought he was going to be really, really good. And to be honest with you, the only goal I can really remember off the top of my head that he scored was in the League Cup against Sunderland. They beat Sunderland in the League Cup that year before they went on to win the Premier League. But even then, that goal was overshadowed by Yaya Touré's goal in that game. So, and even then, Yaya Touré ran that midfield and was probably the difference in the end. Anyway, but yeah, as I said, for me, the reason why I put him in the list, because he's had a good career. I'm not saying he's not had a good career. You just rattled off all his honours. That's anyone realistically starting out, if you offered them that as a return, they'd take it. Realistically, but yeah, as I said, just from a personal perspective, my pet peeves of wingers beating fullbacks and then not doing, what should be the easy, what you've done the hard bit, you've got past the defender. Now, just put a decent cross into a good area, or if you've got the chance, take the shot on and get it on target. But it just always seemed to be the ball was either never good enough, or it didn't come, or the shot was too weak. And I felt like it was the same thing every time. If I was the fullback, I wouldn't even have bothered going near him, because you knew you weren't going to catch him. But at the same time, I would have gone, well, I'm not worried, because he's just going to put the ball into row Z when he crosses it. So I'd have just let him go if I was the fullback. I'd have just let him get on with it, and I'd be like, right, we'll just start again from the goal kick. So, yeah, sorry to go on a bit of a rant there. But, yeah.
Very harsh words there. I'm enjoying it. It was fun to listen to.
But yeah, Jesus Navas, my number 9. That's the final whistle. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Midtable Up Podcast. If you enjoy our top 10 lists, please make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Let us know what you would have done differently. If you watch this episode on YouTube, make sure to put your foot through that subscribe button and leave a like on the video, as well as follow us on Spotify, the podcast app, to keep up to date with the series. Thank you very much. See you next time.